free agency and whatnot. But without further ado, we're going to get into it. So, hello, welcome to the CollingsThodeNetwork. We're doing a 2026 Blue Jays preview, and I'm going to touch on a little bit of spring training here in the beginning. So if you do want to hop right into the discussion, well, I have the handy dandy table, I guess you could call it, there. So if you really just want to talk about the 2026 season and the regular season, then, well, who will play will be the section for you. But until then, we're going to get right into it with welcome to spring training. Yes. Not been great. Okay. Any Blue Jay fans who are following along on with this team, today I wasn't able to find the game on television. It wasn't on cable. What's the point of cable anymore, I guess? It doesn't make sense to me, but we do have the results from the game here. Sadly, couldn't watch it, but we would tie 4-4 against the Detroit Tigers. Interesting. Very interesting. I don't know. I don't like ties. I don't think anyone does. So let's go back through the history of how this team's done so far since baseball's come back. We started off great, a 3-0 win over the Phillies, and that's kind of where the skid for winning has stopped, so to say, as there was an 11-10 loss to Boston, a 4-3 loss to the Mets, and an 8-7 loss to the Yankees, and then we just tied the day I'm recording this. Which is unfortunate because I feel like a lot of our players have been impressing me, and it's been not so bad like win-loss. I mean, we're putting up runs in pretty much all these games. 3, 10, 3, 7, and now 4. Pitching, sure, we have a bunch of AAA guys, but it's still worrying. It's still just slightly worrying, but regardless, there's still things to be hopeful, optimistic about, to, well, get excited about at the end of the day, as the home runs, they've been plentiful. I wrote down every single Blue Jay that has hit a home run so far, and the leader is one. Everyone gets one, as it's Jake Casey, the son of a former MLB player, Eloy Jimenez, who is looking to make a comeback. I mean, Jimenez started his career so good. Like, so good. And then just injuries have zapped him of that. And he didn't end up playing at all last season. He last played for Baltimore in 2024. There's a chance he plays. There's a chance. He's been absolutely raking. We got Josh Kate. Let me say this right. Kasevich. He's hit one. We got Sean Keys, who I put in a short, hitting a monster bomb. Kazuma Okamoto, who of course also had a monster bomb, and then Dalton Varsho. Home runs are fine and whatnot, but the things that matter are kind of the right stats. Of course, it's only been 5 games, really. Yeah, it's only been 5 games, but still, OPS, that matters to me. No matter which way you slice it. Small sample size, big sample size. If you could put up numbers, you could put up numbers. And there's only 3 guys that qualify for the, well, OPS, average, any of those stats. And those 3 guys are Charles McAdoo, Sean Keys, and then Johandrick Pianco. Or Pinaco. Pinenko. Oh my goodness. I've said it wrong every single time. Johandrick Penango, that's it, Penango. And so far, just McAdoo's been impressive. The rest of these guys have been, let's just say subpar, as McAdoo's had a 1.127 OPS. He's hitting 429. We'll get into him later on, but the other 2 guys, Keys and Penango, have not been hitting great. 644 and a 619. Sean Keys is batting a 111, and the other man is a 143. So not the finest. But again, very small sample size, and more likely than not, only one of those guys is really going to make an impact when we move up, and especially when you look at the other leaders. And RBI, McAdoo with 3 is the leader. Of course, he has the opportunity and whatnot, but still 3 RBIs. The next best is a bunch of guys with 2, like guys like Casey, Clement, Jimenez, and then the hit leaders is Jimenez. Again, Eloy Jimenez with 5, Clement with 4. He just went 3 for 3 today with a single, double, triple. And then Varsho, McAdoo, and a couple other guys are at 3 so far. But there have been some names that have just really impressed me, that I've really been pumped with. And Eloy Jimenez, Brendan Valenzuela, Ernie Clement's been phenomenal so far. And then Charles McAdoo. So without further ado, let's hop into our discussion. Meet Charles McAdoo, the new Blue Jay that I am... Maybe, well, we'll see. We'll see if he's the new Blue Jay, actually. That wasn't a false statement. He isn't a Blue Jay. He's been a minor leaguer. He played in New Hampshire last year in Double A, and well, he wasn't fantastic. But right now he is killing it. He's on a hot streak. In spring training, he's played all 5 games. He's had 7 at-bats, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 double, 3 RBIs. In that, he's walked twice and only struck out once. And had a stolen base. Like, he does a little bit of everything for this team in spring training, and it's genuinely excited me. Again, don't think he's not going to be on the team day one. He's going to be in the minors, especially given how he played in the minors last season. But right now, what a hot streak for this guy. Now, to give you more context, I mean, right now he's batting .429 with a .556 on base percentage, a .571 slug. Incredible numbers. In the minors, he hit .247, 318 on base, a .413 slug for a combined .371. It's not great. We'll be real. That's not great. That's not call-up worthy even. There's a reason he spent the season all in Double A, but he's hot. He's hot right now. So he's also one of those guys on Fangraphs when you scroll through infielders that, hey, you should keep your eye on. It goes him. There's Brandon Valenzuela. We have another Jimenez, not Eloy, but I can't remember. It starts with a J. And then there's one other outfielder, and then pitcher, which I guess we'll get into the next part of this. Of course, the meat and potatoes of our video here today is who will play. Who's going to play for the Blue Jays next year? There's so many question marks with this roster. There's so many question marks with the outfield, and I can't seem to get a consensus. So a big thing we're going to hop into first before we dive into the entire team is one man, Ricky Tiedemann. Or Tiedemann, however it's said. I haven't seen him on my TV enough to know how it's said, because this guy just can't catch a break. How unlucky can one player be? I think it's elbow soreness again and again with this guy. It's so disappointing because he is so good. Anyone who's watched any clips of him pitching in the minors, you know how good he is, but we just can't get Ricky healthy, so that sucks. Is it going to be his year to make his way up? I hope so. Maybe he'll be in a relief role because he's not going to start because we are just so loaded. So I guess we'll hop right into it. If you skipped here, thank you for joining anyways. Don't worry, it was just spring training talk before this, as we're going to get into the Blue Jays roster, what I project from them, what Fangraphs has as our projected lineup, and we'll see from there. So we'll start off with Fangraphs, and we'll start off with the position players. The batting order goes on their projected websites: Springer, Barger, Vladdy, Varsho, Kirk, Jesus Sanchez, Okamoto, Jimenez, and then Clement. Now, Blue Jay fans listening to this, I know for a fact that you have quite a few issues with that list. Don't worry, I do too. You're not alone there. Don't worry. So I have my own list further on below, so we'll hop into that. And then their pitching rotation goes Gausman, Cease, Yesavage, Barrios, Ponce, with Lauer as long relief, and the setup man being either Varland or Rogers, and the closer being Jeff Hoffman. As on the IL right now is Bieber. He's not going to start the season, and Santander, who's not going to play till July, September. Tough. It's tough scenes. August, I should say. As my lights went off. That's not meant to happen. Anyways, Santander's out till July, August, which it still sucks. I mean, sign a guy to a massive contract, you expect him to at least play a little, but nope. So I guess now we'll get into the part where you're saying, what? That don't make no sense. That makes no sense, Curtis. I do not understand why it is. And hey, absolutely fair to feel that way. Varsho is not batting fourth. Let's get that out of the way. First and foremost, if Varsho is batting fourth on our team, we don't win any games. He is not able to do that. We all saw it in the playoffs. We all saw it in the regular season. Sure, he can mash. Sure, he can hit home runs. But he can't hit in general. He can't get base hits. He can't get clutch hits. I've seen the guy ground out far too many times in the playoffs, especially in that last run, for me to at all trust him being our everyday 4 hitter. That's crazy, Fangraphs. And then at the 6, Jesus Sanchez. I don't know. I'm not so sure about that. I feel like Fangraphs didn't really watch the end of last season because he was trash. I mean, he couldn't play. He played himself out of a Houston Astros lineup that didn't make the playoffs. I don't understand what Fangraphs sees in this guy. And I'll dive into it. For anyone that doesn't know Jesus Sanchez, he spent his whole career in Miami. He started just before the COVID season, like I think 2019, 2018, and he had been in the minors. He's about 28 years old, we'll call it. And he's not bad, but he's not great. He's not good enough to replace some of the guys that we saw prove it last year. So Sanchez played for Miami his whole career. Last year, he got traded to Houston, and it did not go well. In the year, he hit .237 with a .304 on-base percentage and a 92 OPS plus. 92. That is bad. 100 is league average. Ernie Clement, a defensive specialist, had a 95 OPS plus. Ernie Clement. I mean, I love Ernie. I love him more than most, I think. But that's who we're comparing this guy to hit sixth in our lineup. And then I should have had this written down. That's on me. But looking at the numbers he had just on Houston, abysmal. He played 48 games. He had 160 plate appearances. In that time, he bat 199. 199. And this is a guy, he bat under his weight. Under his weight. He weighs 222 is what it says. 222 here. And he somehow bat under his weight. And he's almost batting under his weight for the full season. Anyways, back into it. He hit 199. He was on base he was on base 26.9% of the time. That's also abysmal. That's not going to cut it. He had a 611 OPS and a 69 OPS plus playing for Houston. If that's how he reacts to American League pitching, then no, he can't play every day. I'm sorry. And then looking into some more advanced defensive statistics. They're not regularly used on television and media, but I feel like this paints a very important picture for what the Blue Jays are trying to do here. Because he's a guy, he doesn't have a bad speed rating. Actually, let's find it. Let's pull up. Jesus Sanchez is. We'll learn together, y'all. Jesus Sanchez, excuse me. Baseball Savant. I just want to know how quick he is, because that's really the only part of his game that I don't truly know. Because his batting run value is in the 20th percentile. It's a -7. It is not good. It's not good at all. His base running value is a 1. It's just slightly above average, and his fielding run value is a 0. He's got a great bat speed, but he doesn't do anything else good. His sprint speed is below average. It's in the 40 percentile. I don't really see what this guy does that we won't get from Lucas, Straw, or even Davis Schneider. And anyone who knows me knows that I'm not a big Davis Schneider guy. The mustache, sure, I like the mustache, but once we got past that, I'm not a huge fan, and I bet people will come at me for that. But I'm a Nathan Lucas guy. I think he's earned his shot at being an everyday left fielder, especially given the playoffs and how good he was in the 2-hole last year. He batted in the 2-hole, and he was great for us. Last year, same amount of games played. I mean, a difference in one. Sanchez played 134 games. Nathan Lucas played 135. Very good comparables. Their plate appearances, everything was very similar. It was in the 400 ranges. In that time, of course, we went over Jesus Sanchez. He had a 98 OPS plus and a 1.3 WAR. Not bad, not great, but not bad. Not bad in the slightest. In that same amount of time, Lucas hit 255. Better. He had a 323 on base percentage. Far better. And he had a 100 flat OPS plus. He was exactly league average. And for a guy that we're just kind of bringing in on a platoon, on a rotation, I will take that and I will laugh. That is incredible. That is what we need for this team. And then he had a 2 WAR. 0.7 better in one more game. That doesn't happen by accident. There is a reason why I like Lucas, and it even extends to the defensive side of the ball, as Jesus Sanchez had a 9 total zone, a 9 TEZ, but 7 DRS, defensive runs saved. It's good. Those are good numbers. He's a great defender. Great defensive outfielder is what I was trying to say there. But if you look at Nathan Lucas, he had a 0 total zone, which you might think, ooh, that's a lot lower than 9. That's not great. And hey, you're right. He might not have the range, so to say, but he had a 10 DRS, a 10 defensive runs saved from just the outfield in general last year. He saved 3 more runs while being a slower runner and not covering as much of the outfield. And that's because his arm is just so much better. He led outfielders in double plays from the outfield last year, which weird stat, doesn't really mean anything if we're being honest with each other, but it's a thing. Like, there are things to Lucas's game that actually excite me versus a Jesus Sanchez. So I guess without further ado, I'll dive into what I view my lineup should be for the Blue Jays, and we'll also go into the pitching staff. So looking at the starting 9, it goes Springer at designated hitter, Barger, I shouldn't do the position. It goes Springer, Barger, Vladdy. Exact same as Fangraphs. And then this is where I change it up. I go Okamoto, Kirk, Lucas, Varsho, Clement, Jimenez. Now, Lucas, you can play in a platoon with Straw and Schneider. Maximize value for whoever is hot at the moment. That's the job of the manager. You're literally with the team every day. That's not so much to ask for, I feel like. And then defensively, I love it because Straw is excellent defensively. We all know this, and Schneider holds his own. He's fine. Playing beside, of course, our main man Varsho in center. I mean, Barger's fine and right. I really like this. So defensively, this looks like Lucas in left, Varsho in center, Straw in right, third base Okamoto, shortstop Jimenez, second base Clement, first base Vladdy, catcher is going to be Kirk. And then my pitching rotation, I change it up a little bit. I have different likes. I'll be real with y'all. I go Gosman, Cease, Yasavage, the exact same top 3 as Fangraphs yet again, but this is where I change it up. I'll put Ponce at 4. I really liked what he did today in spring training. Whew, his pitches look nasty. His pitches look like he looks good. Let's just say that much. And then my 5-man is going to be Lauer. I want a lefty in this room. Why are we going in with 5 righties? And especially when Bieber comes back and he's healthy, then we're penciled in all year to have only 5 righties. No starting lefty pitchers other than Eric Lauer, and well, we're making him mad. We are actively angering Lauer by continuing to use him in a long relief role, which he proved last year. He earned a starting shot. He was 10-2 as a starter. You don't do that by accident. I know wins loss don't mean too much, but when you're that good, when you get that much success, why do we not ride that hot hand? It's crazy to me. So that's my starting 5. I put Lauer in there. Then long relief, I'm doing Barrios or trading him, whatever. And then my setup man, of course, again, Rogers and Varland. And then my closer, literally anyone but Hoffman. Anyone. I don't care at this point. Let me close. At least fans will know to expect the worst. I mean, when we throw Jeff Hoffman in, I know to expect the absolute bare minimum. But does the average fan? I feel like people still get pumped for him. Anyone but Hoffman, please. I don't have a solution. Trade for a guy. Get Barrios out of town. Bring in a different relief pitcher. Anyone but Hoffman. I'll save it. I'll save it for the actual season to start because I could go on this for hours. I'll give a little prediction for how I think the AL East is going to shake out next year because, Nelly, it's going to be a dogfight, and then that's going to be it for today as I'm so pumped for this season. So my official standings prediction for next year in MLB is going to be, well, in the AL East, we're not going fully, it's going to be number 1, the Boston Red Sox. I genuinely think they have the best roster front to back. I really like everything they've done, and I really like the young guys they got coming up. So number 2, that's where my Blue Jays are going to be. Oh, record prediction, Boston. I have them winning 95 games. Toronto, I have us coming second with 89 wins. I have Yankees also winning 89. We're both going to be wildcard teams. We're probably going to face each other in the first round. It's going to be super exciting. After that, it's going to be Baltimore winning 87 games. Maybe they get that third wild card, but it's going to be such a dog fight. And then last is Tampa Bay, 72 wins for them because I don't know. I don't believe in Tampa Bay anymore. I think it's fully time just to tear everything down again, I guess. I don't know. I'm sorry if you're a Tampa Bay Rays fan, but I don't even know why I'm saying that. Do Tampa Bay do Rays fans exist? I guess is my question that I'm going to leave you with. So, hey, if you enjoyed this live stream, if you enjoyed the video, if you eventually watch it later on, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit subscribe on the CollingsThodeNetwork. And, well, till next time, peace. Hit my hand. Peace.